Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Listening to In the Spotlight with Jill Nicolini on Business Talk Radio, where we take your business to the next level. Welcome back to Business Talk Radio. We are joined again today by Andrew Aaron, who's a marriage counselor, sex therapist, psychotherapist, you name it. The name of his company, Help for Passion, and that's helpforpassion.com. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here on this Friday.
Same here. Well, looking forward to our conversation for today. It is a Friday. The weekend's here. People are feeling good, I hope. And I know we're going to have some great conversation. Please introduce yourself to our listeners, Andrew.
Well, I am Andrew Aaron. I am a licensed independent clinical social worker. That's why there's an LICSW after my name. And I've been helping people with their love relationships for the past 25 years. And I do so by helping resolve conflicts, helping partners feel better about each other, be better communicators, and, of course, being better lovers.
Yes. Oh, perfect. That's why we're all listening intently today, because what you say, a lot of people want to listen to. You have some great thoughts, conversation. You help people love more effectively. And would you mind going over what is the area of topic today that you'd like to focus on for our listeners?
The first one is I'd like to talk about sexless relationships.
Okay.
And then following up with maybe a discussion about emotional safety if we have time.
Sure. Let's get started then.
Sure. And, of course, I'm open to callers. If someone calls in with a question, then absolutely we'll interrupt whatever we're talking about. But, Jill, it's a sad state of affairs when a couple ceases to become intimate, when their love for each other no longer includes a love for each other's body as well. And partners need to love each other at its best in mind, body, and spirit. And approximately 1 in 5 couples ceases to be lovers. The sexual component of their relationship falls away. And usually when that occurs, it occurs with a degree of sadness and a sense of disappointment and failure. Were you aware of any of that, Jill?
A little bit. Failure, yes. I've been down that road before, yes.
Oh, no.
I'm
sorry to hear that.
It happens. Come on. It's part of life. It's fine.
It does happen, and there are worse things.
Yes.
But when we go into a love relationship and we get close to another, there are certain expectations. There are certain, what we consider a normal or healthy love relationship, and overwhelmingly that includes being lovers and enjoying sexual pleasure together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, so my discussion in part is about what happens. Why does this occur? And why does this occur really quite frequently? I cited the number about 1 in 5 or 20% of couples become sexless or fall into sexlessness. But I wouldn't be surprised if that number is actually quite a bit higher than that. And my belief is that this occurs because the emotional connection between partners breaks down. And this is usually a point of significant pain for partners when they no longer feel close. And this occurs when problems go unsolved, when the partners are no longer able to come together to understand each other and to talk about difficult problems and actually solve them. Also, usually the case when there's significant hurtfulness within the relationship. And when there's hurtfulness, what's happening is that problems are occurring, a lack of understanding is occurring, and there's pain that is accumulating within the relationship. And unsolved, that pain just builds, and partners build walls of defensiveness, and that becomes disconnection. And I think it's true for so many partners, and I'd say even more so with our female listeners, that if closeness is not part of the relationship, if we don't feel close, if we don't feel connected to our partner, then sex does not feel appropriate. sex is not supported within the relationship. And as a result, then sex then falls away, and an interesting development occurs, and that is that male and female partners experience this problem quite differently and experience the solution to this problem quite differently. What I find occurs is that female partners want to talk more, want to be able to communicate, want to create understanding, want to spend more time together as a way of rebuilding the connection. And male partners are far more likely to experience sex as a method of connecting, reconnecting, and rebuilding connection. And so what often occurs is male partners initiate sexual encounters, and female partners feel like, I'm not close to you, I don't feel connected, so sex is not appropriate or consistent with how I feel, and so they reject the initiative, and male partners get frustrated, saying, gee, we're not working together to solve this, and so both partners are in conflict about how actually to solve the problem, and tension builds. Other reasons why relationships fall into sexlessness are because partners across the board tend to have some discomfort with sex. And this can be due to shame, because there's a lot of shame associated with sex, sexual activity, the sexual parts of our body, but also in general, people have discomfort with our appearance and whether or not we are physically attractive or desirable. Oftentimes, partners suffer the long-lasting effects of old trauma, and this definitely interferes with the comfort of the risk of the openness and the vulnerability that is often required for good lovemaking. Also, I find that because the closeness in sex is quite rigorous, that unfortunately there's significant amount of sexual dysfunction. And this is not something that a lot of people will openly talk about because of the shame associated with it and the embarrassment that goes along with sex. So as a result, a lot of partners suffer in silence. And it's really quite sad. They feel powerless to get help. However, there certainly is help available without judgment. Another source of difficulty is lack of education. You know, Jill, despite the availability of the Internet and the availability of tremendous amounts of information at our fingertips with an Internet search, there still is a lot of lack of education about sex, a lot of misinformation about sex, and this often leads to partners not understanding each other or not having pleasurable sexual experiences.
Wow.
And so couples often come away feeling disappointed, and that does not motivate them to engage sexually once again. And in this modern age, we'd think that the stigma of sex as being sinful would have, fortunately it's not true. Old values, religious values, and certain aspects of religious education and religious judgment continue to affect the population, and there are a large number of people who associate sex with sinfulness, and therefore they're not able to be comfortable allowing sexual pleasure and sexual closeness. And this affects a great large number of couples.
Wow. Do you work with all different types of people with different religious values and backgrounds? Or is it some that are, strictly religious, don't come seek anyone like you to help them because they're uncomfortable with it?
Yeah, all of the above, Jill.
Okay.
A lot of people who come from different religious backgrounds and religious traditions somehow feel that if I don't hold the same religious traditions as them, that I can't provide help. But that simply is not the case, because in my work, The focus is on love. The focus is on acceptance. The focus is without judgment. So it really doesn't matter about a person's religious history or education or faith. It's really about partners allowing ourselves to be human and to accept the love from another. And that is without judgment. So, yes, people from all religious backgrounds can come to me and can obtain help because the environment in this therapy is religiously neutral. It's not about what is good or bad. It's not about judgment. It is about accepting who we are as human beings. Wow. And that is a rigorous stance that I take to look upon the good in each human being and to validate each one of us and to validate our worth as a human being and as a person who needs to be loved and needs to be valued.
Got it. And at this time, can I just ask for your best form of contact information?
Yeah, please look me up through my website, which is helpforpassion.com. That's help, F-O-R, passion.com. And on the website, there's lots of information that can help the listeners in their journey to feel good about themselves and to be loved and to be successful at loving another. So that's a place where you can get started to find more information and to become well educated about yourself and about your journey of love.
And you work, obviously, I know you're based out of New Bedford, Massachusetts, but you work with people all over the world?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've had patients in Italy and in England and in Canada and in France, but also around the United States. I can provide guiding and coaching regarding these very complicated issues of both being human and loving while being human. It's not easy.
Yeah, no, not at all. I still haven't figured out my love life, like a lot of us. I'm 42. It happens.
Oh, no.
Go through ups and downs. It's okay. I have 2 beautiful kids. I'm blessed and thankful for that. One day I'll work on that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah.
They're little. They're 5 and 3. So
it's a non-ending journey, Jill.
Yes.
I'm not sure if we ever really feel like we have it figured out, and our mistakes only help us get stronger and wiser. It propels us forward in our growth. And if we experience a disappointment or an unfortunate end to a love relationship, it does not mean in any way that we are not good enough or that we're incapable of loving.
Got it.
Absolutely not.
All right. On that note, let's take our commercial break here. Again, Andrew Aaron, LICSW, marriage counselor, sex therapist, psychotherapist, Help for Passion. HelpForPassion.com is his website, and again, he's here to help you, improve maybe your romantic connection, passionate connection, you name it, he could do it. We'll be right back after this to have more discussion with Andrew. Right after the break, please stay with us.
Many of us want to find a way to help others, a way to give a little back out of the much that we've been blessed with. St. Joseph Catholic Church sends many needy students home for the weekend with food that they might not have been able to eat without the church's help. Their Backpack Buddies program feeds these children at a cost of about $1,000 every week. Give these children something on their plates and give their parents the peace of mind of not having to worry about their children going hungry. Go to stjosephjasper.com or visit their Facebook and Twitter at St. Joe Jasper. Contact Mike directly at mike@stjosephjasper.com or call 812-482-1805. St. Joseph Catholic Church. Food for every child.
Do other people seem happier than you? Do you get angry quickly? Does your worry consume you? Do you hide your hurt? Do you yell at your children? Do you struggle with grief and sadness? Do you feel misunderstood? Get answers to these questions and more in the book, Simplify Your Emotions, Steps to Happiness, available at Amazon.com. Dr. Guy W. Jordan, a licensed psychologist practicing for 40 years, has written a guide to change the way you think so you can change the way you feel. Buy your copy today and change your life. I read it and it was so easy to understand and to use in my life. Dr. Guy W. Jordan's book, Simplify Your Emotions, Steps to Happiness, is guaranteed to improve how you think and feel, or Dr. Jordan will refund your purchase price. Simplify Your Emotions, Steps to Happiness, available at Amazon in paperback or Kindle. Get your copy today.
Over 50% of the U.S. families are step families, and the one thing that they all have in common is that it is not easy. Being a part of a step family often comes with many questions. His, hers, ours, then the everyday stress, grief, anxiety, the juggling of what to say and what not to say. Let Pat Skinner help guide you through the fog. With her seminars, support groups, family and individual sessions, your step family is one step from becoming a complete family. Call 303-333-5596 or email stepwithpat@yahoo.com and go to the website stepparenting.com. That's stepparenting.com. Stepparenting.com. Empowering step families.
Business Talk Radio would like to congratulate Dr. Robert Surplus on receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award for being a top educator in the field of music education. Congratulations, Dr. Surplus, for receiving such a fine accomplishment.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to In the Spotlight with Jill Nicolini on Business Talk Radio, where we take your business to the next level. Welcome back to Business Talk Radio. We are joined by Andrew Aaron from helpforpassion.com. And again, he's a marriage counselor, sex therapist, psychotherapist, and we've been talking about love today, a little bit about failure, and some other juicy conversations. Hey, Andrew, welcome back to the show.
Hello, Jill. I'm glad to be back. Thank you.
All right, so let's continue to enlighten our listeners. Do you want to continue along those lines? Do you want to add to another form of topic and discussion today?
Yes, it's all related. Our love relationships are very holistic, and when we try to love, we run smack dab into our limitations to love. We can call it fear, we can call it hate, but we will run right into that as soon as we move forward on a loving path. Mm-hmm. And that contributes to, of course, what I was talking about earlier, which is sexless relationships and the breakdown of connection. And one factor that contributes to that is a factor of what I'll call emotional safety. If there are a lot of sources of hurt between partners, that will diminish the positive or loving connection between partners. And there are lots of different forms in which this happens. And of course, unresolved, and if it just continues without a stop, then that can lead, of course, to a sexless relationship or marriage. But also it leads to a dissatisfying or unhappy love relationship, right? So emotional safety is a little different than, say, physical safety. Of course, we never want to be physically hurt, and we all need to be free of the fear or the threat of physical harm. But there's something that's much more subtle and insidious, and that is emotional harm or lack of emotional safety. And what I call emotional safety, Jill, is the freedom from being emotionally hurt. We do not actually open up to have the concern that we will be judged, that we will be responded to in a harsh or negative way. And this is a strong and powerful influence in love relationships. Partners cease to be open to each other and available for connection if these small and subtle hurts continue to happen. I've said it countless times that a love relationship or a marriage dies a death of 1,000 paper cuts. Things that happen, patterns are established between partners, and they happen dozens of times a day and thousands of times through the months and the years. And if these contain small little hurts, like the hurt of a critical statement, the hurt of judgment, the hurt of subtly controlling language or controlling behavior, the tendency to be negative, the tendency to be dismissive or to diminish another's value. These are often so subtle that they create a toxic environment emotionally. And for a lot of partners, it's not easy to identify all this as is really something wrong, because a lot of us grew up in families where this occurred, and it tends to be somewhat of a normal, even though it's harmful and has a negative influence on us. And so I talk about this today to let our listeners know that these subtle little hurts are not okay. It's important to say to a partner who is critical, who is negative, who is harsh, who puts you down, to say, I don't want to be talked to this way. This hurts me. It may not be a large negative experience or one that's physically threatening, but nonetheless, it's not okay. We all deserve to be emotionally safe in our love relationships and free of being diminished and treated in a way in which it's suggested that we're not valuable or we're not good enough. Any thoughts, Jill?
No, it's true. Sometimes I'm just thinking upon myself. Sometimes you don't think you're good enough, right? And I haven't, because I don't have A, B, or C that someone else could have, and maybe that would be better for, my partner who I was with. And I remember feeling insecure and feeling down on myself. And then I look back now, I learned a little bit of a lesson like, wow, I should never have felt that way, but you can't control your mind sometimes. You go through periods in your life of, we all have our own areas of weakness, and some of us are confident, some aren't, and so I've gone through something like that, and I've learned from it, and I feel 100% confident. I never was back then, and I feel secure in myself to know what I want.
Wonderful.
And I still feel like I can't attract that right person, so there's something still missing. But I have faith it will come and it will happen, to be honest with you, Andrew. I really do. I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, and sometimes it may be later for others and earlier for others. So I have a good outlook on it, so I really believe.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I do. I do, if you don't mind me asking about you in your personal life. I'm sure you've gone through all of that as well, right? I think we all have as human beings.
Yeah, just the attempt to love ourselves, the attempt to love another, it's going to create adversity and rigor, and that is our process of growth. And I believe, Jill, deep down that we love and we choose to be in relationship because we need to grow. And it is life's way of encouraging our growth, and that does not come without adversity, right? Yeah. However, I'm confident that you will find someone who you connect with and are appreciated by. And I want for our listeners also to have the strength and the courage to say, I am valuable, I deserve to be treated at all times with respect, and to be supported and to be shown that I am a valuable human being and a valuable contributor to our planet. Yeah.
Wow. Wonderful. I hope everyone out there is listening. Yeah. And again, I just want to remind them, helpforpassion.com is your website. Andrew, Aaron, how else do you think you can help our listeners today? What else? Oh, gosh, we only have 3 minutes left. What else is it that you want to discuss in our last few minutes together?
Okay, one way to respond to the situation in which emotional safety isn't present the way we need it to be is with emotional strength. Mm-hmm. Now, we all understand strength, how much muscle we have to lift something, but emotional strength is not how much we can lift, but actually, in a way, it's about how much we can love. And being available for loving, both receiving it and giving it, means being able to tolerate discomfort, even discomfort with and about ourselves, without becoming a hurtful person. Mm-hmm. Being able to contain our pain, our anger, our hurt, without then behaving badly and causing hurt to another, or even putting ourselves in a bad situation where, we've harmed our own life. So emotional strength is to tolerate the challenges and rigors of relationship and love and life, while always putting ourselves in a good position so we're proud of ourselves.
Yeah. Yep. Good to know.
That's emotional strength.
And just quickly, your background, if you don't mind me asking, in the last few minutes, where did you get your degrees from? Where did you go to school?
I went to Simmons College, the Graduate School of Social Work, and I spent several years there studying social work, which is really the understanding about how we function as a society and in a social environment.
That's right. You worked in community health centers, right? I think we've discussed that before, but it's new for our listeners each and every week.
Yeah, I worked for quite a few years in community health centers, and that's a place where there are a lot of folks who just have lots and lots of challenges, and often so many challenges that they feel buried underneath them and can't find the light of day. I also spent with boys who were severe offenders, who were often violent and out of control. And those boys, I'll tell you, they were great in spirit, and they taught me a lot.
Wow, wonderful. And at this time, let's get your best form of contact information, Andrew Aaron.
Please reach out to me through my website, which is helpforpassion.com, help, F-O-R, passion.com.
Great. Fantastic, Andrew. Thank you. It's been a great conversation, and looking forward to speaking to you once again. And for everyone else out there, thank you for listening. And we'll have more Business Talk Radio coming up right after the break.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to In the Spotlight with Jill Nicolini on Business Talk Radio, where we take your business to the next level.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.